Ladies and gentlemen, we are live. Welcome to the show today. This is You, Me, and BTC episode number 228. Thanks for joining us. We got a special show tonight, a very special guest, the one and only Bitcoin Bella.
Oh!
Welcome to the show.
We also have a special guest because Dan's finally back on the fucking show. It's been me and Tim for the past few weeks.
Wait, really? 2 weeks?
Or
sure.
I don't know. It feels like
it sounds more dramatic if it is.
It's all recorded, so we can look it up. Welcome, Miss Bella. How is it going tonight? What you up to? Thanks for joining us.
Oh, thanks for having me. It's great. I'm Bitcoin Bella. I'm over here in sunny Southern California.
It's a good place
happy
to
be on the show. Yeah.
I like to make fun of Tim and Zach because they're in Pennselsvania. I don't know what the temperature is there. All right, sorry. They're
nice
somewhere on the globe.
We're someplace.
But yeah, I'm in Phoenix, so I get to mock them because it's like 80 degrees here. So.
Oh yeah. You got nice weather.
Yeah, DC was warm today, but it's still cold. So, tell us about you. Like, how'd you get into Bitcoin? What do you do right now? You're like your shit posting meme game is pretty strong.
Yeah,
but how'd you get into Bitcoin?
Well, last year, actually April 1st was when I bought my first Bitcoin. My law partner told me about it, and I was just so excited. So, I invested some in it, and then of course I used some on my rent because I didn't know that it was going to be going up.
Oh.
So yeah.
I saw a tweet today. Someone said like, I can promise you that the Bitcoin price is about to hit an all-time high because I just spent my last Bitcoin, so it's definitely going to go up now.
He spent it on rent too, I think.
Yeah, on rent.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I didn't get into other cryptocurrencies until a couple months after that, and then I didn't get onto crypto Twitter until like November. And then once I found it, I just got so excited, and
it's a fun place to
be. Yeah, I was just recording an episode for my personal podcast earlier tonight, and I was chatting with Michael Goldstein, and he was like, yeah, he was like, yeah, all my friends are on Twitter. I'm like, yeah, me too. Like I was on Twitter like 2009 or 10 or whatever, and then it was boring, and then I just used Facebook, and now I'm always on Twitter. Hardly ever use Facebook.
I hate
crazy.
Facebook. Yeah,
I chased everybody away.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then all those ads that pop up, it's like, how did you know I was thinking about, tampons or something? I don't know. On the side.
I was thinking about Jason Altucher late at night, wanting to know what the next Bitcoin is.
Yeah, you're always thinking about that on every website, every ad network ever. Hey, speaking of ads, I have a quick bit of housekeeping I got to get out of the way. First of all, I want to remind everyone watching right now that this is a quasi AMA. Shindig going down right here. So you can ask Bitcoin Bell anything in the troll box. If you're not at the troll box already, the place to be is you, me, and btc.com/live. Welcome, NY Cartoons. Welcome, Bob Thorpe. Welcome, Tim Baker and NY Cartoons and Bob Thorpe again. Thanks for joining us in the chat, guys. Feel free to drop anything that you want in there, and we'll have a good time and cover it if we like it. But we're sticklers. We don't like everything.
Only if we like it, though. You guys got to be up to par.
The other thing I want to do is give a quick thank you to our sponsor for this week's show, and that is ukit.ai. It's the letter U, KIT.ai. That's their website. And what it is an automatic artificial intelligence, of course, marketer and designer for your website. It's funny because these guys, they don't even know I'm actually a web developer for my day job. And I actually deal with this kind of stuff all the time. And I deal with the challenges that they're trying to solve. What they'll do is design your site in as many variations as you need, as you want, automatically using their artificial intelligence. And that's key. I mean, I do that all the time. Try to decide, you know, what colors and shapes and buttons and sentences and copy and everything. They'll do it automatically. Artificial intelligence. And of course, they're on the blockchain. They have tokens and they're doing the ICO. You can check them out at ukit.ai. Remember, that's the letter U, KIT.ai. They can help businesses or personal websites or whatever the heck you want. And they already have real businesses using it, and there's real people working on it. So you can look them up. They're public people. It's nothing. It's great. ukit.ai. Thank you to them. So keep going, Miss Bella. You got into all this stuff. You like Bitcoin. You got into crypto Twitter and had a great time. So then what? What are you up to now? What do you do in the space?
Oh, well, jokes. I like the jokes. I like the memes. I'm kind of just posting like my everyday what's happening to me every day. Like when I have a feeling about something, if my everything's crashing, I post a GIF about it. I think other people they kind of follow along with me because I'm a noob. So I feel like they're kind of understanding what I'm going through.
Yeah, well, especially after last year when the price goes like that and all these people get excited. There's a lot of people just like you that are getting into it and trying to figure it out. But I love that about Bitcoin, though, that it's not just about the price. It's not just about, all this technical great stuff that it does. The community has always been pretty awesome, too. So.
And Dan and Tim still treat me like a noob too. Like they had been in it years before me, and then when Dan and I were roommates in school, I was like brand new, and so they still rag on me. So we're all noobs, I guess, at some point.
Be one of us, Zach. No matter how long you're doing, you'll never be one of us.
You can never sit with us, you noob. Yeah, sure.
It's the big boys' take.
So I was just in DC this weekend, or I guess the other weeknight. I don't know what day it is, for a new crypto club that one of these people I met on Twitter is hosting in DC, and it was like a huge turnout for the first meeting. Do you, like, outside of Twitter, obviously, do you like have crypto friends, Bitcoin friends in like real life that you hang out with?
I have a couple, mainly my partner who taught me about Bitcoin, but I really don't. That's kind of why I'm on Twitter all the time, because I actually met people on Twitter who I don't know like what they really look like, but we have a Discord channel, and we're just constantly, people are posting charts in there, so I'm kind of learning how to chart, posting jokes, everything that happens, we kind of have some feedback, and I found that to be really, really helpful. So, not really in real life people, because I don't know.
Yeah, that's probably better. I talk to Zach and Daniel on here. I don't do it in public, though. Most of the time, you don't want to talk to people who know you have all this money and then also just are on the internet. But
see, I told you guys, I've been telling you this for months.
Yes.
Tim keeps trying to say like, oh, I sold all my Bitcoin. I wish I saved more. But he just said he has tons of money. So there I was right the whole time. He said he has a lot of money and he doesn't want people to know.
Tim bought Bitcoin when it was like 25 cents, and he will never tell us like how much he has. He's always hiding it. He has lots of guns and probably 3 Lambos, and now
I just drive.
He's actually in a bunker right now. He's not even
probably
in
a
room. This is underground. I don't even know how I get Wi-Fi in here, but it's pretty much. I hook it up right to the internet. I'm right into the mainframe with Al Gore over here.
Well, actually, I don't really have any real Bitcoin. They're all in a demo account. So just to let you guys
know.
That's what I'm trading. No, I'm just kidding. I love Bitcoin.
You're the demo Bitcoin Bella. You're not even the real one.
I know. I'm like not even a real person, actually. I'm just a robot.
So, hey, one of the things that is always great to talk about, whether you're new or not new or whatever, and especially on a day like today, the price. I mean, we cover that all the time, maybe too much, but whatever. The price is going up. We got to talk about it. Not, it's not crazy, not skyrocketing like it has, before, but we're back over 10K. So, what do you think, guys?
Is it still there? I don't have my phone.
Actually, you're right. It kind of instead of it went above and below. Yeah, I'm showing about 10.2 right now.
I'm gonna put in my plug like I always do whenever we talk about this and say the price does not matter at all. So let's move on. But we can still talk about it, I guess.
I feel the same way. I feel like the price doesn't really matter, but 10,000 is kind of one of those landmark, the price landmark numbers where if it hits that, you feel kind of comfortable that it's, hopefully going to go up or whatever. So I don't know. I felt kind of better when I saw that price this morning.
Yeah, it's a milestone for especially people who aren't as like if you can tell somebody else, oh, it's back over 10,000.
Yeah.
And the person who's looking at you like, why did you buy this and then lose all the money is like, oh, well, maybe it's not just a scam or something like that.
No, they still say that.
Yeah, no, they probably will for a while.
I have friends. So it's funny because if you bought Bitcoin like on Thanksgiving Day, I have a chart all prepped and ready to tweet out tomorrow. If you bought Bitcoin on Thanksgiving Day and you did not touch it at all, you would still have like a 25% return today, and that just blows my mind. But I know people have sold it because they have weak hands and they're stupid. But the other thing. I have friends who bought at like 12, 13,000 or whatever. And then we're bragging all over Facebook when it was like 17, 18, 19,000. And I know that they're just like still dead inside because it's like 10,000 and they're solidly in the red. So ha on them. But
yeah, told them not to FOMO. That's a really important point, actually. I think like Bitcoin. Oh, sorry, that's my water. The whole like cryptocurrency aspect is like a microcosm of life. You've got to like learn not to FOMO into things and just be chill about stuff. Does that kind of make sense?
I fully support that. Chill is my motto sometimes.
It actually is. It's a little bit annoying for them sometimes. No, we definitely can talk about that.
You'll never meet someone who literally cares less about Bitcoin while caring so much about Bitcoin than Dan.
Yeah.
It's a joke on the show. One of the things we say all the time, almost every episode is, I don't know, maybe, I don't care, might not. We joke about that. Every issue that comes up, it's like, the conclusion, the question is like, is this important or is this not important? It's just like, yeah, kind of, I guess. I don't know. So that's us.
Yeah, we've spent quite a few hours trying to talk about how you reach perfect Bitcoin nirvana. So if you can help us add anything to that list, please do so. So far we've got just don't think about it, which doesn't really work too well, but we're always looking for new stuff.
Tim's New Year's resolution was to stop doing Bitcoin Twitter because he was addicted. Did that work, Tim?
I haven't really looked at it now.
Yeah. Well, let's see. What was the question? It was like something to add about how to stay zen about things.
How do you find like Bitcoin inner peace, like just perfect tranquility?
That's a good question. I step away from everything for a little bit. I go to my favorite thing is hot yoga. So I'll literally go in there and it's so freaking hot that I can't think about anything else while I'm doing those poses. And then after I'm out, then I'm zen again. So, exercise. I think it's important to get out of your basement if you're, trading or just looking at the price all day long. You got to go out and take a walk outside or something like that and like meditate, look at the grass or the flowers. Pet a dog. Oh yeah.
You said hit a dog at first, not pet.
Or get a dog. Yeah, you can get a dog.
Or wear a dog.
Wear your dog hat.
Wearing a dog always works too.
My friend gave me this wiener dog hat, and I asked people on Twitter like, where should I wear this? And then somebody said anywhere and everywhere, and I was like, yes, you're right. How could you not wear this hat? Right? Is that too much? Okay, I'm taking it off.
No, hot yoga and the wiener dog hat is the way that Bitcoin Bella stays calm about all the fun and drama.
No, we need that. We need to be able to sell these things now and just sell them to everybody.
Bit wieners.
Bitwiener.
Yeah, just have everybody calm
that
down.
Sounds terrible.
No, that's exactly what it'll sell too.
Well, hey, this is I don't think I mentioned this on the air yet. I might have said it right before we started. This is Bitcoin Bella's Bitcoin podcast debut. First time she's streaming on the up on the Bitcoin interwebs. So
yo 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 yo.
So that's fun. It's also her Wiener Dog Hat's debut, I'm presuming as well. Then, unless
True.
someone else ever used to stream with it, I don't know.
No,
But
actually, this is my first like streaming experience whatsoever. I've never even done. Well, I did it once to practice yesterday, but I've never done like
it's a fun
webcam
time.
stuff because yeah.
I mean,
it's good stuff.
It's weird how easy it is. You know, you think, you know, unless you do it, you know, you think everyone that does it must be like this big official, like professional, like even if they're not great, you figure like they must do it every day, and you know they must know what they're doing. But it's really anyone can do it. You know, you click a few buttons and that's what, you know, we got here somehow. I don't know how.
Yeah.
But
Whenever
I like
turn
it.
the microphone on, it's magic every single time.
Beauteous. It's just
well,
like magical.
Zach had a few things, a few random hot topics on Bitcoin that we might touch on. So we'll get to that in just a second. But I'm also going to drop a quick reminder for anyone that may have just joined us or forgotten or whatever, that this is somewhat of an AMA. If you want, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. And if you're not already at the chat, go ahead to btc.com/live and ask anything you want about Bitcoin. And we might ignore you, we might not, we'll see. But yeah, Zach, what's been in the news lately? What do we got to hash out?
Well, I wanted to hit the chat real quick. The Winky Pig Bar BQ. Thanks for joining us, Winking Pig. He says, I have 4,000 plus Twitter followers and follow about 1,000, and I don't know any of them in real life. Well, I guess I can't speak for Bella or Tim or Dan, but I know some of my followers in real life. I don't know if that's extreme, but go for it, Winky.
The only followers I know in real life are Tim and Zach.
True.
Oh,
I never met Tim in real life.
No, I was thinking about that because we were talking about going and seeing Daniel, and I was trying to remember. And I was like, am I gonna have to ask and look like an asshole and be like, Zach, have I ever talked to you in real life or not?
Tim, were you just about to say you'd entertain people? That you're gonna like invite people over to your bunker?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Come in here. You guys got to bring 5 gold coins and a shotgun, though, and have to be pretty much open to anything once you're here because you're not allowed to leave.
So
but you guys can come.
At his Twitter name is @BakersDozen93. So if you want to check out his bunker, slide into his DMs, I guess.
Yeah, please follow Tim. Well, first of all, follow me because nothing in life matters more than followers. Literally, the only thing I care about. But Tim hates when people Tim hates when people follow him. So, and I've gotten him up to 160 followers now, which is a milestone. So please follow Tim and make him tweet. So back to something more serious than Tim's followers.
Richard, you didn't care about anything else.
Yeah, yeah, true. I don't. Well, this is Tim's followers, not mine. Richard Parker asks, "Hola, Bella. How many hours of sleep do you get a night with all that shit posting?"
Oh, Richard Parker. I know Richard Parker. First, I thought Richard Parker was I think he was a bulldog or something, and then he posted his real picture, and I was like, "Oh, you're a person." How many hours of sleep do I get? That's a good question. Well, I sleep about 4 to 6 hours a night, and then sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night and like just get on Twitter for I like look at the entire internet and then I go back to sleep. So if the middle of the night tweets are probably me half asleep, and I'll probably talk a lot of shit, or like that's probably where the weird stuff happens if you are keeping track. So not a lot, but I also sleep a lot during the day when everyone else is probably sleeping. So I like naps.
There you go.
I take a nap every day.
NY Cartoon says, "Remember, none of us have Bitcoin. Wink, wink."
Shut up, Zach.
I don't know what that means.
No.
But,
I don't have Bitcoin. Do you guys have Bitcoin?
It's like Fight Club.
No. I dumped it all for what's the shitty coin? Tron. I dumped it all for Tron. So there we go. So back in the news. Let's keep this show on track here. A lot of cool stuff happening on Lightning Network, whatever preposition you want to use, or adverb, whatever article. So I don't know what Dan wanted to talk about, but I saw a cool thing on Twitter. Elaine Au, I think is how I pronounce her last name. She's working on a cool project right now that would allow you to run, monitor, manage a Lightning Network node from your Twitter feed. To be honest, I didn't actually look at it yet. There's a link posted to the GitHub file for it. And I currently, as ashamed, well, I don't know. Tim and Dan probably don't either. Maybe Dan does. Actually, maybe both of them do. I don't know. And maybe Bella does. I have no clue. I'll just talk about me. I don't run a Lightning node right now, but I want to, and I wish I did. And every day that passes is just makes me wish I did more.
Takes part of more of your soul. Just
yeah, it does. I want to run a Lightning node because unlike running a fully validating just standard Bitcoin node, which I think is a problem we've talked about before on the show, there's like not a strong incentive to run those nodes except for like the very deep knowledge of understanding the role it plays in validating transactions and maintaining the network and all that stuff. You don't have a strong, just like raw financial incentive to run a fully validating Bitcoin node, but you do obviously to run a Lightning Network node and facilitate payments via Lightning channels. And if you can monitor one on your Twitter account, that's just like super cool. So more power to Elaine for that. Maybe we'll have her on the show sometime to talk about it. She's super cool. I love following her. I don't know. What else did you want to talk about Lightning, Dan?
Oh, so what I saw was that altcoins were some were adopting Litecoin or adopting Lightning, which I mean, it was expected, and I mean it's nothing too new. But I guess the thing to grapple with there is, the question of, well, what if one of the altcoins really does implement all the same stuff as Bitcoin and more, and just suddenly scales way better, way faster. Which is, I mean, it's not a new question either. It's been around for whatever years, honestly, at this point. But yeah, I mean, that's still worth covering. I mean, what do you think? Should we worry about altcoins more flexibly scaling and more quickly scaling and kind of just becoming way more useful? I know it's a big question, but there it is.
Well, I probably can't answer this question because James Bond is ripping me in the chat. He says Zach is clueless. LOL. All right, cool. Lightning. Thanks, James. I appreciate it. So
what is that? You're not clueless.
James is our resident.
Don't talk back to James.
Okay.
James is the only guy
biggest
who
fan, biggest hater. Yeah, we can't acknowledge him. No interest
in a C formation.
No, I don't know.
Bella, do you run a Lightning node, or what do you think about?
No, I don't run a Lightning node, but I would love to be able to run any kind of node if somebody would like help me set that up. I'm not really like that technical, but in regards to the other question, I will always love Bitcoin, so I just don't think that anything, if any of the other altcoins like get super fast or super useful, more useful or fast or whatnot, that's fine. If the market wants, if people want that in the market and they want to buy more of it, then more power to them. But like, I'm always just gonna love Bitcoin, and I think a lot of people feel the same way. Fair. So it's
it's the old model. I'm hodling. That's that.
So you're not a maximalist, I guess they call themselves.
Well, I'm a maximalist, but I'm also a realist, I think.
Oh,
does that make sense? Are you gonna?
Yeah.
Am I on the wrong show to say that?
$5 for one word, $5 for the other word.
No. Oh no. I don't know if any of us are like hardcore maximalists. I think we think obviously Bitcoin is going to be the dominant one, but like everything, our answer is kind of
Yeah.
I don't even know what maximalism means in this context. So yeah.
Yeah, it depends what you mean by it, but
true.
Who really knows? Like, does anybody really know? Yeah. Only Satoshi.
As usual, yeah, we take a guest and then we get her to just admit that maybe kind of.
I would say if you held a gun to my head and said I had to decide if I was a Bitcoin maximalist or not, I'd probably say yes. I mean, only because because I'm so indecisive, because I don't care about so much, I have no way to decide among all these other things which one's really that great or really that useful. I already have some background, some history with Bitcoin. I know what it's about. I know how it works. I know that a lot of other people like it. So I'm not going to decide on anything else. I can't decide on anything else because I'm indecisive and I don't care about anything. So I'm just going to stick with Bitcoin. So yeah, if I would probably say I'm more or less a maximalist. I mean, you still have the question of the whole story about like, well, what if Bitcoin goes away like MySpace went away because of Facebook? But I can't tell the future. I don't know what would make. Yeah, go ahead.
But I hate that because Bitcoin is Facebook. It's not MySpace. Like we've had eGold and DigiCash and all of it. Like Bitcoin is the product of decades of cryptography and cryptocurrency failures and research and all this stuff. So like people who say, oh, Bitcoin is MySpace, just like betray their ignorance. Like they have no clue because we've already been through MySpace and we've probably already been through Facebook too. And so Bitcoin is whatever comes after Facebook. I don't know if we want to like take this analogy to the max. It's Twitter. Bitcoin is Twitter and Twitter is Bitcoin. Twitter. Yeah, we've just like we've reached singularity now. They're one and the same. Yeah, but like the Bitcoin is MySpace thing, I think is dumb. But so going to the Litecoin, tying this all together, Litecoin and Lightning and altcoins, I could see a scenario where all these central banks get involved in Bitcoin. They buy large amounts of it. Like Facebook could buy hordes of Bitcoin now, in just one example. And then they manipulate the Bitcoin market like they've manipulated gold and so forth, other markets in the past, commodity markets. And because Lightning, any altcoin can run Lightning, there comes along a other coin with a similar but slightly different monetary policy that in some way, I don't know how, but in some way prevents like this centralized manipulation by people owning a ton of the coin and having the power to manipulate the market. Some sort of like seigniorage augmentation in the monetary policy of the coin. It runs Lightning. It has SegWit, all of this stuff. Like that's a very not super unrealistic scenario, and a coin that in my mind it has the possibility to beat out Bitcoin. I don't know. So I just like the centralization of central banks buying Bitcoin has been on my mind recently, and that scenario sort of popped out of my mouth. But yeah, I don't know. Lightning could any coin can run Lightning, and so if Lightning is like this huge selling point for Bitcoin now, like in the future, it's obviously not exclusive to Bitcoin, so it could help another coin gain a serious leg up. I don't know, but who knows?
That's cool. If it wants a leg up and people want to use it, at the coffee shop or whatever, that's totally fine. But like, I'm still gonna be holding my Bitcoin, so maybe Bitcoin will be like the gold because you don't take your gold around and try to spend it places, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
That's the thing with gold is it lost some of its utility, in that like you don't use it for much. But just like Bitcoin, one of the things that gives it value is that it's just been around for so long and people trust it and people use it. They don't like, that's why I just said they don't do, but you know what I mean? Like they have it, they want it. And yeah, so it's leveled off quite a bit, gold, in the past few years, whatever. But still, if you had gold 20 years ago, you did pretty darn well. And same thing with Bitcoin. Like, I mean, it probably still has a long way to go before it levels off. But it could be just something that people just have. They just trust it. It's just been around. And maybe one day it will level off, but it's still going to be way higher than it is now. Probably not financial advice, but, yeah. We'll see.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's like how Chairman John Carlo said he like, I don't know what he said exactly, but like how he came to not hate Bitcoin or something. Geez. He was like agnostic before, and that, which I think is like a very important point, that if you just like read about Bitcoin, especially if you just like go on Bitcoin Twitter, you're like, what the hell? These are like whack jobs. Like I don't want anything to do with this. But then John Carlo was like, yeah, so my niece owns Bitcoin. She's like a hodler or whatever. And she told me about it and like explained it to me. And now he's like the biggest like love boy, like whatever the correct term is, poster child, love child, something. He's loved by, I don't know. He's loved by crypto Twitter. And we have his niece to thank, because like his niece is the real MVP here.
Yeah.
Got him into it, told him it's okay, I'm not a drug dealer. He said his niece told him she's just holding Bitcoin to see what happens and she's not selling. And like the personal connection is super important. So
yeah, hey, I want to ask that. That's my AMA is what did do you have any hot takes on that hearing? I don't know if you watched any of it or listened to any of it or just saw it on Twitter. But I have a bit of a rant. Yeah.
Oh.
I have a bit of a rant, but I want to see if you have any hot takes first.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I happened to wake up at 6 a.m. that morning, and I was in bed half asleep, and I turned on C-SPAN. I was like, wow, this is the first C-SPAN production that I've ever like not fallen back asleep on. So the SEC, that chairman guy, he seemed to not be like totally. He wasn't as educated as Giancarlo was on the subject matter, but he was talking about how ICOs are basically all securities. So that's a really interesting implication. And then every time like the Senate would ask him a question, he'd kind of defer to Giancarlo, who's totally awesome. And oh my gosh, like he got like 20,000 followers after the thingamajiggy. Anyways, I just felt like he was really bullish on Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies as, I mean, not as like saying they're going to take over or anything like that, but it was basically saying like, yeah, this is going to be this is like an asset class. This is here to stay. So like an emerging market or whatnot, whatever you call it. So, I felt really good, actually really confident after that. And anytime anybody asks me about Bitcoin now, like after that hearing, I'm like, oh, did you see that it was on C-SPAN? There's something like legit.
Yeah. So
yeah,
I'll agree with that. I'll agree that there was a lot of good stuff there. I'll agree that it does legitimize Bitcoin for a lot of people. And I missed last week. I did miss the show last week, like Zach was saying, and they covered the hearing some. But I hadn't actually listened. I know this is like super like last week now, but still, I did get a chance to listen to the hearing the other day. And yeah, there's a lot of good things, a lot of like, interesting input from those guys. But there were so many parts where I was just like, is this a joke? Like, it's like halfway through the hearing and someone finally, mostly at the questions, like someone finally was like, so what does the SEC do again? And he had to like explain the SEC's mandate. I'm like, what? Why are you in this hearing? He's like, what do you mean? What does the SEC do? And then I don't know. There's so many other things that I like. Well, I wanted to laugh a lot, but I was on an airplane, so I probably shouldn't. But like, yeah, like the question there. Somebody's like, well, is there anything to the price of Bitcoin? Like what's going to happen with the price of Bitcoin? Oh yeah, because I know. Like if I knew, like, and then they're like trying to explain, like, well, I saw this one chart where it was correlated to the hashing power, so it seems legit. Like, oh, there we go. You got it. You understand. So yeah,
it was, but it gets better because there was this New York Times article today about. So the second hearing they just had yesterday, I guess, they voted to create a subcommittee or special task force or something. And the New York Times article,
they kept saying like real quick, they kept saying like, oh yeah, we'll get back to you. We're gonna all join up together and we'll get back to you. I promise. I don't know the answer to your question, but we'll get back to you. It's like, all right, great. Thanks for that.
We need to go read some old Bitcoin Talk forum posts and see what Satoshi says, and then we'll get back to you.
Yeah.
But yeah, they like, to their credit, like Bella said, they sort of, especially Giancarlo, had like a clue of what was going on, and that was cool. But the SEC and the CFTC both were like, we have no experience in this, handling cryptographic currencies. We don't really know what's going on. So we're going to create a new agency with literally no experience in anything because it's brand new. We just created it. And now they're going to handle all this mess and it'll work out perfectly. And I'm just like, what the hell? Like, all right, yeah, I don't know.
They kept saying like, do you have jurisdiction over this? And they're like, no, not really, but yeah, but no, we don't need more jurisdiction, but we definitely need to crack down harder. It's like, I don't think you answered the question, but yeah. They're like, well, we're working with the Fed. I promise. We're working with the Fed. We're working with the FTC. We're working with the Consumer Bureau. Like, yeah, we're working with them all. I just talked to him the other day. Okay, but what happened? What'd you decide? Nobody asked that, but anyway, I had to rant a little bit there. Sorry.
Yeah,
Hey,
well,
so
everything's really new. So, you know, in terms of like the government figuring out what they're going to do about it, I mean, how long did it take? Like, I don't know, just any kind of governmental
they're
agency to
still
like come
trying to
into
figure
place.
out how the
Yeah.
internet works with net neutrality. One day
Yeah.
we're gonna have Bitcoin neutrality. So,
Oh boy, God, I hope not.
somebody's Richard Parker is asking, what is the panel's thoughts on security tokens like polymath? So I'm gonna pose that to everyone else here because I don't know anything about polymath. Anyone else know?
I just looked it up and I still have no idea what it does. It's migrating something to the blockchain. Let me look it up again.
Well, while Tim
I
looks
know
it
I'm
up,
useful. Yeah.
sorry, wait, what's his name again?
The
Where'd the
securities
chat go? There it is.
token
Richard.
platform.
Oh, Richard Parker. Yeah. So Polymath is an interface between financial securities and the blockchain to issue fundraising, and it guides issuers to the complex technical and legal processes of a successful token launch. So I literally have no clue what that means. Like most ICOs, they just use some buzzwords. It looks kind of cool, honestly. Meaning their graphics on the website look kind of cool. But
hey, that's
don't know.
a fair question. What about Bitcoin Bella? What about ICOs and tokens in general? I mean, do you write them all off right away?
What do you mean write them off?
Like, do you just ignore them? Like, well, screw that. It says ICO. It must be a scam.
Oh,
or do you
no,
like any? Or
no, not that it's a scam. I just like I'm not an accredited investor, so I can't invest in them. So I'm like, wait till it gets to market or whatever. For me, I feel like I'm missing out on a lot of things, but there's nothing I can do about it. And then in terms of them like operating, and this isn't legal advice or anything, but just like in terms of them operating in the United States, like they need to figure out whether they got their ducks in line and they're kosher and stuff like that. So I mean, but yeah, I don't really dabble in that stuff.
All right.
At this point.
Yeah. But that's fair. You don't write them off, and that's something you got to be careful of, because some people do just write them off, every single one of them.
Like me, I don't care. I write them all off. Like, sure. Well, like, so the idea of ICOs, like fundraising available to anyone around the world, that like theoretically you don't have to be an accredited investor, except the laws like sort of say you do. But the idea of an ICO is you can just contribute to a project no matter who you are. That's really cool. But like 99%, 100% of them are scams, just because the incentives are all misaligned. People have no idea what they're actually doing. Next to none of them have any sort of working website, let alone a working product that they're trying to get another round of funding for. And I know like some projects have teams that are actually taking the funds to do things. And to both of those projects, good on you. But to all the rest of them, like it's just stupid. So
yeah, I mean, if you're around the world or whatever, and you're investing in these, like, do your own research, like figure out how many devs are on the team or whatever, and like read their white paper and see what they're actually saying in it. I wouldn't write them all off as scams. I mean, these are like, that's how innovation happens, is like people doing projects and stuff. But if you're going to put your money and FOMO into it, then like figure yourself out. I think that's kind of
yeah.
I love NY Cartoon's comment on that. He just said only 1% of the population understands cryptography, or maybe cryptocurrency, both. But 99% of the population can give you price analysis on Bitcoin. Yeah. So
yeah, I like the price analysis charts, like the classic banana pattern. I saw the classic upside down Stegosaurus pattern out there somewhere.
Oh yeah, there's a wheelchair. I like looking at other people's charts. I like learning about how to read them, but then I don't know
just
what
draw
I'm doing.
A bunch of lines, and wherever they intersect is where it might go, or there's a chance it might not. You never know.
Yeah. So, I mean, I like to zoom out, and like if it's low, then that's cool. Like I'll get some, and then wait till it goes up, and then that's cool. I'll sell some.
That's about it. That's about it for me. It's like, well, it crossed. or I don't buy or sell a ton, but I mean that's what I do. Whenever I'm gonna buy or sell something, that's about all I do. I look at the charts and say, oh, this one's down a bit. Sure, I'll buy it. Okay.
Okay, I get.
Okay.
I'm not looking for the upside down stegosaurus. As cool as that is, I'm not an expert at recognizing that pattern. So
yeah, some of these people are all in there with like whatever they're fucking called, like Ichimachu clouds or something, and they have like
Bollinger bands and
bands and clouds and triangles and like heads and shoulders and U cycles. So like I actually bought a book on technical analysis that I started reading through, and it's interesting, but like all these people are on Twitter trying to be Picasso or something with all these lines, and I'm like, all right, that's like a little too much for me. So, but like more power to them. Everybody has a place in the space, so go for it.
I don't know about everybody. There's got to be someone that just show up and like.
Daniel's very exclusionary. Yes.
Yeah. There's someone that would ruin all of this for everyone. I don't know who it is, but someone would. Probably Tim.
Sure. Most likely yes.
Please follow Tim on Twitter, by the way.
Bakers
does it 93. Please follow him.
So I saw a question, an AMA question a second ago. This one's actually from Twitter, not from the chat. But it's a nice and easy softball for you. So here it comes. How blockchain works?
To me?
Yeah.
Oh, shoot. Okay. Wait. I saw that one too. I was like, why are you trying to ask me these like technical questions?
Yeah.
Well, my understanding
nice
is that it's like a distributed ledger. So instead of like doing bookkeeping in like a little notebook where you have to write down every transaction that occurs, it's kind of spread all over the world in people's different, like, I guess it's their nodes or whatever, in their different computer systems. And so you can't like fake what happened, and everybody has to like kind of agree on what happened. I mean, is that a good enough answer for you?
That's great. You know, I wish my dad took that answer and was happy with it. I got to talk to him for hours and hours at a time, and he's like, "Well, yeah, but where did it come from? Like, who hid the Bitcoin in the blocks? And like, where did they get the Bitcoin to hide it in the blocks? And then somebody finds it." All right, Dad. I wish. That's the thing. I try to make it simple. It's simple, broad statements like, "Oh, it's distributed ledger around the world. Everyone keeps a record of all the transactions." Yeah, but where'd it come from? This guy made it. Yeah, but where'd he get it? Okay. Okay. Whatever.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's a good explanation. So the thing I hate, though, is all these people who think everything I hate it so much I wrote like that series about it. Like all these people who want to tokenize everything and put it all on the blockchain, and that's stupid. And Jimmy Song earlier today tweeted a list of reasons why you don't want a blockchain, which may help answer whoever asked that question on Twitter what a blockchain is by knowing why you don't want one, or I guess when you don't want one. He said you don't want a blockchain because 1, storage, everyone has to store everything. 2, bandwidth, everything has to be broadcast to everyone. 3, CPU, everyone has to validate everything. 4, development, essentially everything is 10 times harder. 5, control, everyone collectively has control, not just you. So if you read that list, you get a pretty good picture of what a blockchain is and why you just don't fucking want a blockchain for everything. Like the government won't run on a blockchain, bananas won't run on the blockchain. Like just
the dating on the blockchain. I was like, do not put dating on the blockchain. We don't need that in history. Like it's already in my head, and that's too much. Like my memories are already like terrible. Like nobody else needs this.
You don't want them saved forever on a mathematical just construct.
No, I want them erased from my memory. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, that's something. No, I agree. Like I agree completely. And dating is probably like the most benign example of that. Like if we literally had everything
to forget all of his dating experiences.
Zach was like, "No, I completely understand. Please, I wish."
No, I'm not talking about dating. Actually, I'm not talking about dating. But this is like
good point. Yeah.
No, I'm making a serious point here.
No,
like,
I know. I'm seriously saying you're making a good point. I was trying to make you feel better. I'm sorry.
my serious point is, if we had everything on the blockchain, which is immutable or nearly immutable, then like everyone's criminal history, like nothing could be expunged. You would be stuck with life for everything you did at all times until you're dead. And that's like, well, you could get into Bella could probably take us through all the legal and philosophical aspects about why that's a shitty idea. But like, if I get a speeding ticket, for example, pretty benign, it falls off my record in a matter of months or years. Or if I commit a crime as a minor, then I don't know what the statute of limitations are for certain crimes to fall off your record as when you commit them as a minor. But like all that stuff would be there permanently on a blockchain. And like nobody wants to live in that sort of like Black Mirror hellscape dystopia.
Yeah,
so
that's exactly what they do in the thing, and that's they. Yeah, you're right, because it's like half the reason why we spend time with anybody who we do is because we don't remember how shitty they've been. Like, we're all shitty people, whether it's on purpose or not. And it's like, if you had like a remembrance of like how many times, whether it's like your mother, your wife, your girlfriend, or just some random person, I would definitely just get shunned if everybody just remembered how I've been. Sometimes people would just, no, we're not doing this again. This is not worth my time. But yeah,
instead of like scrolling through their Instagram feeds or something, you could literally scroll through their blockchain and figure out all the stupid things they've done. That would be like a
terrible
nightmare.
Yeah, the past is the past. Leave it there.
Exactly.
What if it was all the things on the blockchain, but on a privacy blockchain, like whatever, Dash, Monero, Zcash? Like, what if all your dating was, what if you couldn't see the amount of value that was transacted on all your dating relationships? Is that better?
If you could see what?
I guess, but why?
So why do you want this remembering?
No, that's the thing is with I mean, that's what they do. They encrypt all the. I don't know the details. I haven't read all the white papers or whatever. But supposedly it's all the details are private, but it's still mathematically sound and auditable or whatever. So what if all your girlfriends were auditable, Tim?
What do you mean audit? Are we talking like? Is this getting into like the sex robots now, or is this just normal?
You got one?
No, I don't have one yet. Can someone please send me James Bond, give me a coupon code in the chat, please.
For a girlfriend?
No,
the sex robot.
Sex robot. I think she's like, oh, you actually got one? Jeez,
no, I'm sure he has a girlfriend. Tim, you got a girlfriend, or you have the ability to get a girlthriend. I'm sure.
Thank you very much. This is what I came here tonight for.
Yeah, in the future, all of anyone Tim tries to date, they'll have to be subjected to a blockchain audit where he reviews all their personal history.
Let's see exactly what happened here. No. You dropped your Bitcoin right before it dropped from 19,000. That's not the kind of person.
Richard Parker says, Jesus, I'd never get a date again if it was on the blockchain. LOL. True. I feel you, Richard.
We have
maybe
one or two more questions. What, Tim?
Nothing. Just talk.
Jeez. So, this one really is probably a softball from the Winking Pig Barbecue, aka Roulette Run. Bella.
Oh, I know Roulette Run.
What area of law do you practice?
Okay, I do civil litigation, so I have years and years of civil litigation defense experience.
That's at least another $10 there. Whatever.
Recently, I started my own firm last year, and I still do civil litigation. We also do, a little bit of crim, a little bit of civil rights, a little bit of crypto stuff. So we're all over the place.
All right.
Does that answer the question?
Wait, what was the first one?
Roulette Run. Civil lit. So any kind of torts.
Torts,
lawsuits.
Tim.
That didn't help.
That sounds like
another word that you're too dumb enough to understand.
It sounds like some like off-brand kind of Skittles.
It sounds like a physical injury. Like I torted something.
Yeah, basically.
But hey, Zach knows all about law, though. That's his thing. So I bet he understood every word there.
You know about torts, Zach?
I know about him. Yeah, I'm not in law school yet, so we'll see what happens when I get there. But yeah, I'm a big fan of law and cryptocurrency. That's where I want to be. So screw all this DC economic policy stuff. I'm just going to be a Bitcoin lawyer and ride around my Lambo putting ICO dealers in jail. That's the life. So
fucked up. You're now in crypto jail. Go away.
Yeah.
So
true. Shout out to my man Roulette Run. I just found you on Twitter.
Yeah, he's
cool.
great. He's in the legal industry too, and he does a lot of good charting and tweeting.
Have you been to the moon, bro? You got an astronaut pic on your avatar there. That's sick. All right, sorry, you were saying, Dan.
That's all right. So I was going to say that we're coming up on just a few minutes left here, which means it's time for the part of the show where all of us come out and give you some good advice. It is time.
What we call
it? It is time for advice of the week. And Bitcoin Bella, this is where kind of anything goes. It could be about stuff we talked about, could be about Bitcoin, could be about dating, could be about sex robots, could be about anything, law, or anything we didn't talk about. So we'll give you some time to think while we share our own advice. Mine, geez, I maybe I need time to think too. I guess, what did I get most passionate about tonight, guys? What was I just fired up about in the
hating
past
regulators and how stupid they are?
Okay, yeah, I had a bit of a rant there. Yeah, so yeah, oh, that was hilarious. I still none of them had a clue. That's my advice. Oh, it doesn't have to be specifically advice either. It could just be like a proverb or whatever.
Basically, we just want you to talk and just say something at the end of this. It doesn't really matter what.
Conclusion of the week, whatever. But yeah, so my conclusion of the week is regulators are a hoot. That's it. That's me right there. That's what I got. Regulators they're a hoot.
Boo.
Take that however you want. Could be a good hoot, could be a bad hoot.
No, it can't.
There could be a good hoot, like
no one has ever used that.
Like a good time.
That's good. I had a hoot last night.
Yeah,
that's exactly right. Used, I think. I don't really say hoot too much, but I think that's how people say it. I don't know.
Says hoot too much.
Yeah, dude.
Right. What do you got?
Right, whatever.
Conclusion of the week, guys. Anything good?
Me. Oh.
Anyone?
Yeah, go for it, Bella.
Well, I just wanted to say thank you guys for having me on, because this was really fun. My first webcast thingy with you guys, and I just really appreciate it. I appreciate everyone that follows me on Twitter. I didn't realize how nice and supportive and positive people are. There's like 0.0001% trolls, but I'm learning to block them. But everyone else is just like so amazing. Thank you for following. Try not to FOMO too much. Try to go outside, hang out, step away from the computer for a little bit.
Well, yeah, if you're not on, well, step away if you need to, but if you don't need to step away, jump on the Bitcoin Bella bandwagon, and that's at Bitcoin Bella on Twitter if you're not already following her.
Yes, and I also have a Discord with my friends, Crypto J Simpson, Fungus, and Smriti, and a couple others. It's called the Bag Holders In. So if you want to join that, and I'm always in there just like chatting, sharing memes and laughing and stuff like that. So
awesome. So that's where you can find her.
Yeah.
Anything, Tim and Zach, looking for some advice of the week?
My advice is always buy the dip. Buy the dip responsibly. Like, don't mortgage your home or some stupid shit like that. But always buy the dip.
Zach wants you to do it. Zach wants you to mortgage your firstborn, everything you have.
It's not legal yet.
No, I'm serious. Like, people, so I first got a Bitcoin after a huge dip, and that was like hype, and always bought the dips ever since then. And I have zero regrets from every dip that I bought. So always buy the dip. It will always pay off. And I'll see you guys on the moon, but you can only get to the moon by buying the dips. So that's my advice.
I don't know. That sounds dangerous. If you're on your way to the moon and you swerve and fall or dip, isn't that bad?
Yeah, that's not what you want to do.
guess. It's just it's an oxymoron. It's not supposed to make sense. But the heavier your bags are, the quicker you'll get to the moon. So,
all right. Sure, I believe you. I agree. Seriously. So, buy the dip. Take it away, Tim.
Well, Bella, you kind of took mine. I normally say the
he normally says that you took mine to and whoever's on the show.
I don't think I have. Maybe I have.
Sorry.
Right, what did Zach say? Yeah, I would say definitely do mortgage your home and sell that to buy Bitcoin. Basically everything Zach doesn't do. If you have a podcast and it's 3 dudes, get a hot girl on, a lot more people watch. Because I think we did have 13 people live. So no, definitely
13?
I think so, which is more than we normally do. So thank you.
Yeah. Auga.
Well, that's a good point. We giant thank you to Bitcoin Bella for joining us, jumping in the sausage fest here. I believe I was trying to think. I think you're the 3rd girl we've had on the show.
Awesome.
We've had and all 3 of you have been great people. We've had Angela Keaton from antiwar.com. And now I was thinking about this the other day, and I don't know who the other one was.
Bitcoin Bell was.
Oh, Bitcoin Bell, of course, because the name.
Oh, yeah.
I was going to mention that at the beginning of the show, but whatever, here it is. This is Bitcoin Bella on the show now, but we have had Bitcoin Bell, who is Michelle 7. Awesome big shot too. So thanks for joining us and joining the club.
Thank you for having me.
I guess that's about time to call it then, guys. It's been a blast. This has been You, Me, and BTC, episode 228. We'll be back. So the schedule now, I haven't had much. I don't know if I've ever kind of laid out our whole new schedule here for the shows, because like Zach said, I was gone last week, and then everything was just starting up the week before with the brand new show that Zach is doing. So that is the Coin Pod. And you can go to thecoinpod.com to get to that landing page. And that is every Tuesday, or more, thereabouts. We try to put it out sometime on Tuesday. Tim has more or less taken over our Monday episodes, recorded rants about 20 minutes long. So those are a ton of fun. I don't like to compliment Tim much, but he seriously has been killing it with those monologues. So check that out on Monday, the Coin Pod on Tuesday, and we'll be back here next Thursday, live, 9 to 10 p.m. Eastern. In the meantime, the place to find everything you need about everything Bitcoin is you, me, and BTC.com. Thanks again, Bitcoin Bella. Thanks again, Bitcoin Bella. Follow her at Bitcoin Bella on Twitter. And peace out, guys. It's been a blast. We love you.
Thank you again. Bye,
See
guys.
you guys.